Well, welcome back to the arcade. It's been a while, but hopefully I'm going to start making some more videos. So I'm going to start out something simple. In this box was an eBay purchase that I bought back in December of 2009. And I paid, with shipping and everything, $166.05. So, did I get a good deal or did I not? I don't know for sure because I don't know if it works 100%. It is a board set. Well, actually a board, a small board. It's actually a Teamplay. What do they call this? Centipede, Millipede, Missile Command, and Let's Go Bowling. So it has 4 games in one. Okay. Now, it came with a wiring harness, but it's not complete. Well, first let's take a quick look at the board. And as I said, it's not a very big board. Now, when I got this, I did plug it into my JAMA game cabinet, and it did boot up and work. And here it is right here. It's CMMB revision 1.62. Now, I have heard recently that a lot of people have been having problems with this EEPROM. I guess the EEPROM, I don't know if they go bad or if the programming scrambles or whatever, but supposedly there may be a problem. But I don't know because I've never fully tested the board. The reason I never fully tested it, I don't have a JAMA game that has a trackball. Well, kind of do. Back in 2006, I went to an auction in Richmond, Virginia, and I actually bought a Capcom bowling game in a Quicks cabinet, or Kicks cabinet, however you want to say it. How do you pronounce it? Do you pronounce it with a K, Kicks, or with a Q for Quicks? Let's just say Kicks. Anyway, that's out in the garage. The cabinet is in kind of rough shape. The game did work when I got it. Capcom Bowling. I think it has a G07 monitor in it. Monitor has heavy Capcom Bowling burn-in. But it did work. But I never got around to doing anything with that cabinet other than I took the control panel off and I ordered the parts to rebuild the trackball. Actually, I got them back when I got the cabinet, 2006, I ordered them from Bob Roberts. So I do have a trackball, and I haven't rebuilt it, but I did take it apart and clean it up. And it was kind of nasty inside. I'll throw a picture up if I got one here. I didn't take any video of it. But, yes, it was kind of nasty and rusty inside. But after I cleaned it up, it didn't look too bad. So I just stuck it back together. Now, I do have parts to rebuild this. The original harness is still out on the game. And I don't think it had this 6-pin plug. I think it was wired directly into the wiring harness, and that's the reason why I didn't have the harness with it. So I did make a harness. So I just finished making this. I didn't film any of it, but I made up a harness so that we can test the board, and it actually rolls pretty smooth here. So we got the trackball. Okay, next problem. This was the harness out of the game itself. It is a JAMA harness. It does have a serial number, CMMB 31517. But the harness had been hacked up. Now these green tape, masking tape, I put these on here because I used the official jammer pinout from Teamplay. So I figured out what every wire was, and I labeled them. Like the yellow wires here with the colors on them, that's for the monitor hookup. You got one here that's for the coin counter, which runs off of 5 volts. Let's see, we got 2 speaker wires here been cut. These are all the wires that go to the power supply. Now the original game has one of those power supplies that bolts to the back of the cabinet that has the built-in on-off switch. It has the fan for the power supply. It has a fuse for the power supply, and it takes a AC cord like is on a power supply for a computer that, you know, plugs right into the power supply. So this obviously used to have a connector on it. They whacked it off because I'm sure they converted the game into something else, so they used the existing power supply and they just cut the harness here, as well as the speakers. And let's see what else we got here. We got one 2-pin Molex plug here, which goes to the Coin 2, which I don't believe is even used in the game, because, well, we also got the harness here that goes to the control panel for all the buttons. Now the buttons came with it, and I believe I had to add a couple micro switches because it was missing a couple micro switches. But I got all the original buttons for the game, and that harness is intact. Now, that's the wiring harness that came with it that I got to work with. There was one other harness, and let's see. I must have took it out the box. I know I got it around here somewhere. Let me go find it. I'll be right back. All right, well, I found it. It's a 13-pin inline plug, and it plugs on this header on the board right here. And let's see, it does have a key in it, so it has to plug in this direction. So it plugs onto the board just like that. Now, what this is, and somebody cut it off. Why would they cut it? Because this group of wires here goes to the coin door and the service panel, okay? Now, put that right there. I got looking online and trying to find pictures of this. They made 2 cabinets. They made a 19-inch version, and they made a 25-inch version. The 25-inch version has the big control panel. The 19-inch version, I think they call it a cabaret, but it's bigger than a standard cabaret. It just has a regular looking control panel. It kind of looks more like a traditional missile command, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd have to look at the pictures. But anyway, the Teamplay pinout sheet has no mention of this plug. it only has the 6-pin plug for the trackball. And that's another tale in itself. I believe there's errors on the jammer pinout, and they just reverse. I believe they reverse the direction and the clock wires. It's backwards on here from how it is down here. So I had to figure that out, but I won't know until we test it if I got it right. But this one here, I found out, like I say, by looking at pictures of wiring harnesses for this game. The two wiring harnesses are different in both the 19-inch version and the 25-inch version. It still has this plug in both of them, but the wire colors are different, for one thing. Plus, the service switches are different. In the 25-inch version, it appears that it has 4 buttons, and they are the type of push buttons like some Williams games and Williams pinball machine uses. On the 19-inch version, which this is because of the color on the wires here, I found a video where somebody made a detailed video of the inside of the 19-inch cabinet, and this plug has this colors in the same order. That one doesn't have, it has 4 buttons on the service panel, but they're just regular individual push buttons on a 90-degree bent piece of metal that's on top of the coin box. So I don't have that, so I had to recreate it. So using just the pictures in that video, ta-da, I made this, and it uses these exact same buttons, 4 buttons. Now, I believe 2 of these buttons are for volume control, up and down volume. One of them is for, I think, service. Well, I don't really know. They're used in the menu system to get into the menu to change settings. So I don't know if they call it service and test switch. One is test and one is service, but it's used as a menu, maybe an enter button. I don't know. We're going to find out when we wire it up. So we have to recreate this harness and figure out which wires go to these 4 buttons, which ones goes to the coin switches. So again, I used the video with the color of the wires showing where each one of these wires go. Now, I couldn't find out where each one went on these buttons. As a matter of fact, the only one I know for sure is this button on the top right-hand side, because the color is obvious in the video. But the other 3 I'm not sure of. But I am sure of coin 1 and coin 2 going to the coin mechs. I'm also sure of the 2 wires going to the coin door lights, okay? And it's weird because the coin door lights actually come off of this harness from the PC board. And I'm thinking they're 5 volts, but I don't know that yet, but we'll find out. I'm pretty sure they're going to be 5 volts. So what I did was I kind of figured out what all 13 of these wires go to. And pin 1 is a black and yellow, which I'm pretty sure goes to the coin lights. Number 2 is just a plain yellow, which also goes to the coin lights. So one of these is the ground for the coin lights. I would say the black and yellow is the ground, and the yellow is the power to the coin lights. Pin number 3 is black, so that's more than likely a ground. Pin 4 is a gray wire with a green stripe. And I'm kind confident, looking at that video, it goes to the right coin switch. At one time I thought it went to both, one wire for both right and left, but it isn't, because looking at the video a little closer, the gray with a violet stripe is for the left coin switch. A gray with the orange is one of the 4 buttons. That's the one I could see. That's the one in the top right hand corner. The others, I don't know what color they are, but we have a gray with a blue stripe, which I'm pretty sure it goes to one of those 4 buttons. A gray with a yellow that goes to one of the 4 buttons. And then pin 10 is the key. Pin 11 is just a solid gray wire. I think that goes to one of the 4 buttons. Then 12 and 13 have no connection. So that's what I'm thinking. Now, if anybody has one of these games, the 19-inch version, if you can kind of look in your coin door, leave in the comments if I'm right. And maybe you can tell me what color wires goes to each one of these buttons so I can get them right. Like I say, I'm only sure about one of them, but 2 of them is going to be volume. Okay, now you can, if you go to the jammer connector, it does have an up volume and a down volume. Okay, but those 2 connections are not populated on this particular harness, so I would have to add the wires in there. But I could control the volume if I added the 2 wires into the jammer harness and just ran them to 2 of the buttons. It does have a test, and let's see, I don't think it has a service. It does have a test button, which is also missing on that harness. Get the coin 1. Yeah, I don't see a service. Usually the service is opposite the test, and it's got no connection. Oh no, there it is, service. That's pin R. Okay, so it does have a test and a service. So you can wire them in if you add the wires to the jammer harness. But supposedly this harness will take care of it. So what I'm going to have to do now is recreate the rest of the wiring harness. So that's my next step, is I'm going to have to put a connector on for the power leads and wire in a power supply. Have a brand new power supply here. So we got that taken care of. I've already took care of the trackball if it's wired correctly. So we have a trackball. Then we just have to wire up a speaker and put the connections for the monitor, which all the wires are there and they should be plenty long, and just put the correct connections for whatever monitor I'm going to hook it up to. I'll just hook it up to a test monitor, and yeah, we'll go from there and we'll test this board and find out if it's working or not. So I'm going to do this off camera. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rig up everything, and when I come back, we'll be ready to test this thing. All right, well, I got everything wired up, hopefully correctly, like it's supposed to be. I got a test monitor here. If you remember, it's probably been almost 2 years ago now. I did a tube swap on this Wells Gardner 4800 that used to be in my baby Pac-Man. If you want to see a video on that, I'll put a link up here in the description and up top here. if you want to see the tube swap on this. But anyway, I haven't fired it up since I did the tube swap, so we're going to find out how that's doing. I have it wired up to my isolation transformer here. I have power supply for the game. I have a speaker. I put a connector on the two speaker wires that was on the original harness and just added to the speaker. This harness right here, which was the original harness, was cut right here. I spliced in wires, so now I have new wires running over here to the service panel with 4 push button switches. It also goes to the coin door switches, the coin switches, so I just got 2 switches wired in here, and then these 2 wires are for the coin door lights. I haven't put any plugs on them because, well, we're not going to use them right now. I will check to make sure. I'll put a voltmeter across these to see if they're 5 volt, which I'm pretty sure they are, but one's ground and one's 5 volt. Also put in a plug on the original harness here. This is a 9-pin Molex plug. I did a little research on that to see if I could figure out the original wiring. And I didn't know this, but thanks to good old Ken Layton, he's no longer with us now, but he was a long-time member on a lot of message boards, including the Killer List of Video Games. And he is still, his posts that he made are invaluable, and it's one of the biggest resources for the search on the Killer List of Video Games message board. I did a search, and I didn't know this, but according to Ken, this 9-pin plug is a jammer standard, and in his, I'll put a listing of the, a screenshot of the post that he made years ago, and had the pinout for this 9-pin plug. So I wired it up to what I didn't know was a thing, the 9-pin power jammer standard. I wired it up to the power supply. Of course, I had already made the harness for the trackball. I'm still not sure about the wiring for this, because I found out doing some research there are all kinds of different ways that these crazy things are wired up. You got, these have the green board, they have a red board, which I think is wired up differently, and even the pinout on the Teamplay's pinout sheet right here had them mixed up between the 6-pin plug had the horizontal clock and the horizontal direction backwards, and the vertical and the direction and the vertical clock were backwards. So who knows if that's going to work correctly, but we're going to find out if the board works and you know what it's going to do. Okay, I don't have a control panel out here, so I just took the 3 buttons, which is used in Missile Command, I guess, because you got your 3 bases that fire, but it's also used in as fire buttons for the other games too. So I just taped them down with some packing tape, so I'll be able to access them. Of course, we just got the trackball sitting here, and so that should work. And then of course I got the player 1 and the player 2 buttons here. I just got them laying loose because, you know, all you gotta do is just hit them. So let's go ahead and fire this up and find out if the board works. If the board works, then we'll find out if the trackball's wired up correctly, and we'll find out what these 4 buttons hopefully do. and do I have those wired up. It's got to be wired up. Now, whether they're in the right order, two of them are supposed to be volume control, volume up and volume down. The other two, one is a test button and the other is supposed to be a service button. But how they function with the menu system, I don't know, because there's not a whole lot of information in the instruction book that came with the game that tells you how any of this, how the menu system works. So hopefully it's self-explanatory. Let's put it that way. So, all right. Well, here's the moment of truth. Let's turn everything on. And let's see, I'll turn the isolation transformer on, but I still have it hooked up to my kilowatt meter here. So let's hit the on button. And let's see what happens. And hey, look at that. Well, the game's booted up. And see, what game is that? Millipede. So I guess it's gone right into a track mode. I don't hear any sound, but is there sound in the attract modes? Well, that's another question I don't know. Also, the monitor looks like it's pretty good. I don't know whether it needs to be adjusted or not, but it looks a little close, but it's maybe a little bit, the vertical is a little bit too wide. I think the monitor has a height adjustment, so we ought to be able to take care of that. Well, this is a vertical game, so the monitor is sitting sideways. I can't play a game sideways, so let me cut this off and let's turn the monitor up. Let's see if we can get it to stand up in the correct orientation. Hopefully it will. Let's see. Don't want to pinch any wires here. Because as you know, the edges on the monitor frames are very very sharp. All right, we had to move the board over a little bit to get all the wires lined up. Okay. Let me go ahead and set up the other camera so we can get a close-up of the screen, and I'll cut these lights off to dim it in here a little bit, and I'll turn it back on, and then we'll see if we can play a game, access the menus, and see how all that works. Okay, I think the camera's adjusted about as good as it's going to get. It's hard to get the video an arcade monitor, but anyway, we'll see how it looks. Maybe I can fix it up a little in post-production, who knows, but we'll give it a try. It looks good in person except for it's a little discoloration. I could get my degaussing wand out. Maybe I'll do that a little bit later. So it does have some issues, needs to be degaussed. But anyway, let's see if we can figure out some of this stuff here. It's up and running. So what do we do now? Let's hit the credit button. Well, it says I already got 2 credits. Of course, it's running in a track mode right now. One thing unique about this, these games are vertical games, except for Missile Command, which is a horizontal game. And as you can see, they reconfigured it so it's now a vertical game. It might be a little weird, but I don't know. 2 credits plus press start. I wonder if it had 2 credits already in its memory. Let's hit start and see what happens. Here's the player 1 start button. Oh, goes to a menu screen. Interesting. Okay. Let's go bowling, Centipede, Missile Command, and Millipede. Alright, so I guess we have to choose one. And how do you choose one? Let's see. No, not with the start button. One of these buttons? Nope. Rollerball. Ah! Well, it seems like I got the up and down on the trackball working. Because if I roll it up, it goes up. If I roll it down, it goes down. All right, what game should we try first? I'm not a big bowling fan. Let's just do classic Centipede. Okay, now, do we push the start button, player 1 start button? Let's see. Okay, yes. Uh-oh. Houston, we have a problem. Up and down works, but when I go left, it goes right. When I go right, it goes left. We do have fire. And we do have sound. Whoops. Okay, so trackball. The right and left is backwards. Alright, let's see if it's the same for the other games. Wonder how you get out of a game. There's no way to get out of it? Alright, well, let's try to get killed. Player 1, press start to continue. Okay, with this, you can set it up to continue if you want to continue. But I don't want to continue. Still got 2 credits. All right. Plus player 1 again. Goes back to the menu. Okay. Let's try Missile Command. And let's see. Up and down is right. Okay, we still got right and left is backwards. Okay, so didn't do too bad. 50% right. Okay. That should be an easy fix. Let's see. The right and left is controlled. All right. The right and left is controlled by this encoder wheel. The up and down is correct. The up and down is up here. So I think all we have to do is change these 2 outer wires, swap them around. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's cut the game off. And yeah, let me turn the lights back on and see about changing this. Okay, let's go ahead and change this. Let me unplug this connector here. Tight fit because I use Trifurcon pins that grab on 3 sides of each pin. Alright, so this one here we got in the center, we got the red and the black, which is 5 volt and ground. And on the outer, we got the 2 signal wires. One is direction and one is clock, I think. So what we got to do is pull these two, the blue and the purple, pull them out of the connector and swap them. So the way we have to do that is take a small screwdriver, because I don't have my little tool with me. They make a little tool where you can slide in here that will press this little tab down so that you can pull them out. You don't want to press it too hard because you'll bend it in and be hard to get it back out. And it's kind of hard to do with this tie strap on here. Need a little more wire, so we'll just clip this off. That might help us a little bit. I wish I had my little tool. All right, let's try the purple one. Maybe the... Okay, that one came out. Now what you got to do is you got to grab under the little tab, and you got to pull back up on the tab so it'll lock back in. I broke my fingernail there. Might have to get an X-Acto knife to fix that. All right. Why is this one being so stubborn? Maybe it's hanging up. I don't believe this. All right, let me struggle with it off camera. See if I can get it loose. Well, that was a royal pain in the keister, but I think I finally got it. So let's find out. Let's try another game of Missile Command. All right, up and down, right and left. All right, we're correct now. It's a little hard to play with the trackball loose like this. Okay. Boy, I suck at this. Oh, I'm out. That's right. You only get so many missiles per base, don't you? Forgot about that. Huh. I don't want to continue that. Well, we seem to have the trackball set up right now. Oh, it does have the end in it. You can see where the convergence has got a spot there. That's no biggie. Not convergence, but it needs to be degaussed. Okay, let's see if we can figure out what these buttons do here. Let me go ahead and turn the lights back on. Probably going to wash out the screen there a little bit. But all right, that gives us the screen and the other thing in the shot. Let's see, let me turn one of these lights out. See if that helps a little bit. Okay. All right, let's see if we can figure out what these buttons do. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Da, 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 da. Oh, well, what the heck. Alright, when I push this button, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Huh. That must be a service button. Ah, that's the test button. That's the service button. That'll give you credits and doesn't count on the audit. That'll, like you can play a game without saying somebody put a quarter in it. Okay, so we got the test menu. Now, what cycles us? The buttons? Which buttons? General adjustments. Oh, it was on free play, wasn't it? Okay, so all these buttons do the same thing. Oh, I bet trackball. Yeah, there we go. Half credit to continue. Left coin, right coin. No bonus coins. English. Buy-in enabled. Exit. Okay. That's general adjustments. The Centipede you can adjust. It's on easy, bonus life every 12,000 points, 3 lives per game. All right, we're just going to leave it there. Let's see what Millipede is set at. Easy spider, easy beetle, easy millipede. Bonus life every 15,000 points, 3 lives per game. Okay. Let's see what Missile Command's set for. Start with 6 cities. Bonus city at 10,000 points. Okay. Then we got clear high scores, factory defaults, and exit. Don't see nothing about the Let's Go Bowling game. Adjustments, audits. Is that what we were just doing, adjustments? Yeah, okay. All right. Audits, diagnostics. Switch test. This will tell us what's what. All right, switch test. Here we go. Coin 1 and coin 2. Well, these are the coin switches, so that's coin 2, that's coin 1. Player 1, or start 1, start 2, fire button 1, fire button 2, fire button 3. We don't have play 2 player, but I think you can set this game up for a cocktail, but I don't think they ever made a cocktail version. So that's interesting. Trackball. Oh, okay, you control the spider up and down, right and left. So that's working. Okay. These buttons. We think we know what this is. The test button, that's the service button. Service credit. Okay. Yes. So that's the service credit button. So that's the test button. These must be the volume. Okay, here's the volume up and volume down. Okay, that's volume up. And that's volume down. How about that? Oh, and you can all the way up. Wow. Okay. Let's put it all the way down. All right. Press start 1 to switch track balls. Okay, so it must be set up for a cocktail. So you can switch. If you can put 2, track balls if you got it. Press test to exit. All right, we said this was the test, so let's exit. Okay. Monitor line. Let's try that. Okay. The colors look okay. Like I say, we still got this blob right here, but we can get a degaussing wand out and take care of that. All right, let's see what. Okay. The little dots for convergence. Well, that's all right. Display Nova RAM. Okay, it even tells you what it is. This is AT29CO20. Okay. I think we've seen everything we want to see in that. All right, and we're still on free play. So I guess if it says 2 credits, you're always on free play, so you can always start a 2-player game that way. All right, let's go to the menu. Let's do Centipede again and set our volume. Okay. Ooh, it goes pretty loud. So the volume works. Ah. I forgot about the spider. All right. Let me reset the camera up again, and we haven't tried Let's Go Bowling yet. So let's do that. Okay, let's try the bowling game. Let's go bowling. Okay. Wow. I suck at that. One of you can use the buttons to hook your shot. Ah, okay. Again, this would be easier if this was on a control panel and not moving around, but let me see if I can hold it. Okay. Oh, that sucks. Ah. Oh well. I guess with a little practice you could get pretty good at this, but ah, man. Oh, man. Well, I suck at bowling, just like everything else. All right. I don't think I want to, yeah, this even says free play down there. And this will give you, you can play again. Okay. Like when you're in track mode, these three buttons do nothing. All right. Let's try, I don't think we've tried Millipede yet, have we? Okay. Select starting score. Oh. Okay, we're going to start from the beginning. I need to tape the trackball down so it doesn't want to walk on me. I definitely think I like Millipede better than Centipede. That was pretty fun. But this would be nice if it was in a cabinet. Like I say, I could tape the trackball down so it don't move around, because you do kind of have to have pretty good control of it. If, you know, when you're moving it around, it wants to slide around. Plus, this trackball hasn't been rebuilt. I reconditioned it. I think I took a picture. I didn't show taking it apart, but I took a picture of the inside, and you can see how rusty and nasty it was inside. I took and cleaned the axles, I guess you call them, put them in a drill and used sandpaper and sanded them coarse, medium, and then real fine, because they actually slide on the ball. I do have a rebuild kit I got from Bob Roberts a long time ago for this trackball, and I do have a new ball, a black ball, to match this. This trackball, I should mention, came out of a game I bought. I can't think of the year I bought it now. It was I think 2 years after I bought the board. And bought the board in 2009. No, 2 years before I bought this board. 2006, I believe. I bought a Capcom bowling. I mentioned this before, in a Kicks cabinet, or a Quicks cabinet, and this is the trackball out of that game. So I could put this game in that cabinet, although the cabinet has some water damage. I think the cabinet has a base, a square wood base on the bottom of it, sort of like a Nintendo cabinet has, and that base has come apart, but I don't know if it's damaged the actual cabinet itself. But the cabinet is, the whole inside of the cabinet, when I bought it, it's got that white mold in it, and I haven't done anything with it. It's out in the garage, so I need to go out there and look at it. It still has, it was a working game when I got it. I think I only paid either $25 or $50 for it. $50. Yeah, for the whole entire working game, but it was in rough shape. I'll throw up a couple pictures of it at the auction, and one after it's been sitting in my garage collecting dust over the years. But yeah, I'm sure it had heavy Capcom bowling burn in the G07 monitor. I don't know if it's heavy enough to where you would notice it if you put a smoked plexi over it. Sometimes you can put a smoked plexi over a monitor and it'll hide a lot of burn-in, but if I was to leave it at Capcom Bowling, then the burn-in would match, you know. But that's only one game. This game gives you 4 games in one, plus the bowling. Now, I bought a control panel overlay for this game, but I think it's the big control panel, the cabinet that has the 25-inch monitor, because it has a flat control panel, sort of like a add-on control panel box, like the 4-player, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Simpsons games have, the Midway cabinets, Mortal Kombat, that type of deal. But it's not as big, but it's a panel similar to that, boxed in with a flat top. The 19-inch version of the game has a regular control panel, sort of like the original Missile Command. I also bought, for either $50 or $75, I can't remember which, a set of side art for this game. But I don't know if the side art is for the big 25-inch cabinet or the 19-inch cabinet. I think they also made a cabaret version before they added the bowling games to this. It came out a couple years before this version came out. It just had Centipede, Millipede, and Missile Command in it. And I think that one was a smaller cabaret version. Now, whether it had still had a 19-inch monitor in it, I don't know. This, of course, is my test monitor. This is a 13-inch monitor. I could build a completely new cabinet and put this monitor in it, make a cabaret size cabinet. But then I'd have to look at the side art I got to see if it would fit on something like that. It might be too big for it. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments. What would you do? Is this a game worth keeping? Should I build a cabinet for it? Because I know I don't have a chance in of finding an original cabinet for this. I've never seen one in the wild around these parts. I know they're out there, but not around here. And if I did find one elsewhere, shipping it would be too expensive nowadays. I mean, there was a time back in, I think it was around 1999, where I could ship a pinball machine or an entire arcade game from California to here for around $100, believe it or not. Those days are long gone. So, yeah, I could put it in that Kicks cabinet if the cabinet is worth fixing. So I'd have to go out there and look at that cabinet. Maybe that side art I could put on that cabinet. Or would I be better off just selling this as a kit? I could sell the side art, the wiring harness, the side art, and the control panel overlay if somebody had a cabinet for it. If I did that, let me know in the comments. How much do you think this kit would sell for? I mean, I could let it go. Well, I don't want to let I could let the trackball go. I mean, I can buy another trackball. Or I could sell it without the trackball and everything else. Let me know in the comments, what do you think something like this is worth it in today's market? And I'm going to look at my options and see whether or not I want to try to put this in a cabinet, build a cabinet, repurpose that Kicks cabinet that has the Capcom bowling in it. I mean, let's face it, the bowling game isn't the greatest. I mean, I'm not a bowler, not a fan anyway. Somebody that's really into bowling, Yeah, they'd probably like it. I'm sure somebody does. I'm sure somebody likes the Capcom bowling game. It's just not my thing. And I think they have a version, don't they have a version of the Capcom bowling that's like a Coors Light version or something? Maybe that's even better. I've never checked that out. So, but anyway, it is what it is. So there you have it. I lucked out. In 2009, I bought this board and incomplete harness off of eBay for $166.05. Do you think I got my money's worth? It works, so, and it wasn't too hard to finish the harness and, you know, fix it up so that I can get everything working. So yeah, there we have it. Guess this has just been another arcade fix. Have you had your arcade fix today?